Welcome to today's presentation. We are looking at the concepts of entrepreneurship, and to present, I am Tutor Maston. Today's presentation is loaded with content. We'll look at the introduction, the characteristics of business entrepreneurs in accordance to the theory of entrepreneurship, then a school of entrepreneurial thoughts, then we'll look at social entrepreneurship, then we'll also look at the universal personal entrepreneurial competencies. Entrepreneurship has become a major force in the global economy. Economic growth and prosperity lie in the hands of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are doing everything to make the world a better place to live in. They are doing everything possible to make the world a better place to live in. They are doing this by creating and marketing innovative, customer-focused new products and services. This presentation will take you through the essentials of entrepreneurship theories and characteristics that make entrepreneurs successful in their businesses. We shall consider these characteristics at the personal level, the social level, and the universal level. So to discuss these characteristics, we turn our attention to the theory of entrepreneurship. The scholar Hitach, 1980, states that while technical expertise is important for success, personal qualities and traits and business skills are far more important. So the scholar is telling us that an entrepreneur or entrepreneurship cannot survive without the individual having these personal qualities and traits and some business skills in him. Then psychologist David M. McClelland, 1961, in his theory, tells us that individuals with high need for achievement, they tend to exhibit the following behavioral traits. So he highlights the traits that exist into a person with the need for achievement. And these behaviors are as follows. Entrepreneurs tend to take personal responsibility for finding solutions to problems. They set moderate achievement goals. They take calculated risks, and also they favor concrete feedback regarding their performance. Feedback is very important, and these entrepreneurs who look at feedback in a positive way, they tend to do better because they are able to work on their mistakes and on their weaknesses and improve on their businesses. On the other hand, Bygrave, 1962, believes that an internal locus of control is essential for anyone who wishes to establish a successful business venture. Locus of control refers to how one perceives the causes of his success or failures. Some people perceive their failures as being beyond their control, as something that is done outside their realms. It could be something spiritual, believing that it's what God has set for them, that their future will be like. So we refer to that one as an external locus of control. But then there are those people who believe that whatever fate will be in their lives, it is due to their hard working or laziness. So those who believe that they can control their fate by maybe hard working, by doing certain things within their confinements, those people are said to have an internal locus of control. So an entrepreneur with an internal locus of control believes that his or her success or failure is a result of the effort and hard work he has invested in his work. So these characteristics that we are looking at can be grouped into two: the personal factors and the psychological factors. So I'll start by looking at the personal factors. The characteristics of entrepreneurs' personal factors include the following: self-confidence, opportunism, ambitiousness, desire to achieve, hardworking, nurturing quality, accepting responsibility, reward-oriented, and optimism. Psychological factors of the characteristics of entrepreneurs include the following: need for achievement, locus of control, propensity for risk, that's the ability to take risks, then tolerance for ambiguity. This is the ability to accept uncertainties. Certain things happen that we don't plan for, and as an entrepreneur, must be able to accept these occurrences. To promote entrepreneurship, the School of Entrepreneurial Thoughts was introduced in 1998 through the concept of entrepreneurial function. So what is the School of Entrepreneurial Thoughts? The Entrepreneurial School of Thoughts sees strategy formulation as a visionary process, and it falls under the descriptive school of strategic management. The School of Entrepreneurial Thought is divided into two major views: the macro view and the micro view. These two views are further divided into 6 schools of thought, with each view having 3 schools of thought. Let's consider the macro view. The macro view looks at society as a whole. Researchers Kurako and Hogetz 2001 advocate that macro view of entrepreneurship presents a broad array of factors that relate to the success or failure in entrepreneurship ventures. So the macro view presents the 3 schools of thoughts, and these are the entrepreneurial school of thought, the financial and capital school of thought, and the displacement school of thought. Let's consider these schools of thought one by one. The entrepreneurial school of thought. This school of thought addresses the conceptual nature of entrepreneurship. This school of thought deals with external factors that affect a potential entrepreneur's lifestyle. They can either be positive or negative forces affecting the entrepreneur's desire. The focus is on the social, political, environmental framework that strongly influences the development of entrepreneurs. The environmental factor that often affects the potential development of entrepreneurs is their social group. The kind of friends and relatives can influence the desire for one to become an entrepreneur. Next, we look at the financial and the capital school of thought. This refers to the need for capital and focuses on the relationship between entrepreneurs and investors, funding sources, performance of entrepreneurial investments, and returns for investors and entrepreneurs. and public policy issues. The emphasis on this school of thought is on the use of business planning guides and the texts for entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs in developing countries lack access to medium and long-term credit. So this forms a major constraint for these entrepreneurs to expand their activities. The third school under Microview is the displacement school of thought. The displacement school of thought focuses on the negative side of group phenomena. It holds that the group affects or eliminates certain factors that project individuals into entrepreneurial ventures. The individual in the group is made to feel out of place or is literally displaced from the group. So the group hinders a person from advancing or eliminates certain critical factors needed for the person to advance. For example, self-confidence. A group may make one to lose self-confidence, and this will cause a person to avoid becoming an entrepreneur. There are three major types of displacement depicted in this thought, namely the political displacement, the cultural displacement, and the economic displacement. Political displacement is caused by factors ranging from poor governance and the policies that limit or interfere with the running of certain industries in the country. Having considered the macro view, we now turn to the micro view. The micro view of entrepreneurship examines factors that are specific and the part of the internal focus, or internal locus of control. The potential entrepreneurs have the ability to control, direct, or adjust the outcome of each major influence in this view. Thus, this view presents the following three schools of thought. These are the Entrepreneurial Trade School of Thought, the Venture Opportunity School of Thought, and the Strategic Formulation School of Thought. So we shall discuss these three schools of thoughts one by one. The Entrepreneurial Trade School of Thought. This school of thought is aimed at identifying traits common to successful entrepreneurs. This approach is based on the study of successful people who tend to exhibit similar characteristics that, if copied, would increase success opportunities for the followers. The second school under the micro view is the Venture Opportunity School of Thought. This school focuses on the opportunity identification, development, and exploitation. Market knowledge, creativity, and developing the right idea at the right time for the right market are very important for opportunity exploitation. The third school under Microview, this is the Strategic Formulation School of Thought. This school looks at the development of strategies in entrepreneurship. It emphasizes planning, leveraging. Leveraging here means reaping maximum benefits from something. So leveraging of unique markets, unique people, unique products, and unique resources. Without doubt, the strategic formulation school encompasses a component of managerial capability that requires interdisciplinary approach. Now, remember, we are discussing business entrepreneurship, characteristics of business entrepreneurship. Now we turn our attention to social entrepreneurship. So we'll look at the definition of social entrepreneurship, and then we'll look at the certain elements in the definition and see what they mean. It's a long definition. It says social entrepreneurs play the role of change agents in the social sector by adapting a mission to create and sustain social value along with private value, recognizing and relentlessly pursuing new opportunities to serve the mission, engaging in a process of continuous innovation, adaptation, and learning, acting boldly without being limited by resources currently in hand, and exhibiting a heightened sense of accountability to the constituencies served and for the outcomes created. So we shall look at each element in this definition and elaborate them further. The first element is the change agent in the social sector. Change agents are reformers and revolutionaries, but with a social mission. They make fundamental changes in the way things are done in the social sector. They are said to attack the source of the problem and not the symptom. And the second element is adapting a mission to create and sustain social value. This is the core function that distinguishes the social entrepreneurs from business entrepreneurs. For social entrepreneurs, the social mission is fundamental. This is a mission of social improvements that cannot be reduced to creating private benefits. Social entrepreneurs look for a long-term social return on investments. They think about sustaining the impact. The third element is recognizing and relentlessly pursuing new opportunities. Where others see problems, entrepreneurs see opportunity. Social entrepreneurs have a vision of how to achieve improvement, and they are determined to make their vision work. They are persistent. The key element here is persistence combined with willingness to make adjustments as one goes. So rather than giving up when an obstacle is encountered, entrepreneurs take a risk. They will try to find a way to make it work. The fourth element is engaging in a process of continuous adaptation, innovation, and learning. Entrepreneurs need not be inventors. They just need to be creative in applying what others have invented. The willingness to innovate is one way of achieving their mission. It is a continuous process of exploring, learning, and innovating. They don't stop at failure. They treat failure of a product as a learning experience and not a personal tragedy. The fifth element is acting boldly without being limited by resources currently in hand. Social entrepreneurs do not let their own limited resources keep them from pursuing their visions. They are skilled at doing more with less and at attracting resources from others. They explore all resource options. The sixth element is exhibiting a heightened sense of accountability to the constituencies served and for the outcomes created. Social entrepreneurs take steps to ensure that they are creating value. They seek a sound understanding of the constituencies they are serving. They make sure they have correctly assessed the needs and values of the people they intend to serve and the communities in which they operate. They understand the expectations and values of their investors, including anyone who has invested money, time, and expertise by helping them. Therefore, they seek to provide real social improvements to their beneficiaries and their communities, as well as attractive return to their investments. We tend to the universal personal entrepreneurial competencies. Here we look at characteristics which most of them have already been highlighted under the business entrepreneurship and the social entrepreneurship. So the repetitions of these characteristics just denote how important these characteristics, traits, and skills are in the success of entrepreneurship. These characteristics or competencies, we have 9 of them on this list, and they're actually self-explanatory. The first one is opportunity seeking and initiative. Secondly, risk taking. Then demand for efficiency and quality, persistence and commitment, information seeking, goal setting, systematic planning and monitoring, persuasion and networking, then independence and self-confidence. So this just an overview of the characteristics that we have already covered in under business entrepreneurship and the social entrepreneurship. So this marks the end of today's presentation. Please subscribe to get notifications of new video releases.